very much. It's good to be here. I think I was here a year ago as a candidate, and I recognize some of you because I was on, not only from the lunch, but on a day somewhat like this, I was on Seminole Island knocking on doors. So if you thought I was crazy because I was out knocking on doors, it's, you know, what candidates have to do to get elected. So it worked out. Now, I was sworn into office about a month ago. Very excited to be working in the Ohio Senate. There are a couple of things I wanted to touch on briefly, things that I'm doing. The number one problem that I hear consistently throughout the 12th Senate District in 7 counties is the fact that we have jobs available and no one to take those jobs. It's everywhere. We have 1,200 open jobs, and these are from starting jobs up to jobs where folks can be making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year with full benefits. I got a text message from somebody at Dominion Gas that said, we have 5 maintenance positions. Is there anybody you know who will come and work for us? So it's extraordinary, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And we can talk about the fact, number one, that the government is competing with employers with benefits that are being given away. There's obviously a drug problem. There's some other things, but those two particular issues are why I'm introducing a bill to combat welfare fraud. You've seen what are called, in the SNAP program, the EBT cards that folks use. And obviously there are a lot of folks who obviously need that kind of help. But police officers may tell you that when a drug house is raided, they find 4 things. They find drugs, they find guns, they find cash, and they find welfare cards. These are being trafficked by many people. They sell them for 50 cents on the dollar, and those cards are then used, obviously, to make money in other ways. And the cash that the folks get when they sell those cards are, of course, often used to buy drugs. So it's adding to that problem in a couple of different ways. What we're going to do simply is require that these cards have a photograph on it of the person who's allowed to use the card. And that is, we believe, going to deter a lot of people from being able to sell the cards and use the cards. Is it going to solve every case of welfare fraud or every case of these cards being trafficked? No. But we have to have a variety of solutions to these problems. So that's one of the things I'm going to be doing. I want to talk real quickly about something else. And this is for local officials in the room, from folks who are building both in counties and cities and townships, local specialty districts. And if you're familiar with the concept of prevailing wage, what it simply means is that there's a wage that has to be paid, which is typically higher than the market rate on certain jobs. And of course the state of Ohio has to do that with their various projects. But the bill I'm introducing next week will allow local governments to determine for themselves what they pay. If they want to go ahead and continue to pay the prevailing wage on these projects, they can. However, if they decide that they're simply going to bid these jobs out as a market rate, they can do that. And it's, as we say, a permissive bill. Now, what you really find is that in larger cities, if you go into Akron or Cincinnati, Columbus, places like that, the market rate and the prevailing rate are pretty close together. But in the 12th Senate District in West Central Ohio, they're not. And so what that means is that the cost for local governments often in these building projects are 10 to 20% higher because of the different wages. Now, in addition to the cost being higher, that often means that the project simply can't get done.